Redditors, what's the most metal thing you've ever seen? I saw 3 deer corner a small child and eat his ice cream. Child was screaming like Dio whilst his Japanese mother filmed the whole thing cackling to herself. Metal.
A man recently died and wife in critical condition in Australia because the deer they had attacked them. Don't fuck with deer. When little Timmy saw a deer, one splendid summer's dawn, he watched with hope and joyful cheer this dainty spotted fawn. But what more perfect beast, said he, could overshadow this? 'Tis such a darling thing to see. An ungulate of bliss. I love you, tiny dearest doe. He softly spoke and sighed. But deers are fully metal, bro. And Timmy fucking died. One of my friends has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, far worse than myself. I remember once her foot fell out from under her on a staircase, she slipped down and ended up a curled and contorted mess, having dislocated both shoulders and twisted her legs underneath her. Before I could even get down the stairs and help, she started popping her joints back in and untangling herself. It was like watching a marionette build itself from a pile of parts. Either truly metal, or nightmare fodder. Whoa, like a real-life nebula. A human Mr. Potato Head at that point. There's a whale autopsy video where the whale is paraded through a town and then basically explodes because of built-up gas. That was pretty metal. Is this the one Dave Barry wrote about where they decided the best course of action was to blow the whale up thinking it would blow into tiny pieces? Instead they were hammered with giant pieces of whale flying in every direction? Cars were destroyed. No people died. But it was also hilarious. That whale was beached in Oregon. Authorities decided to dispose of the carcass by blowing it up, and then chunks of whale meat rained down upon people for a very large radius around the blast. At a concert, a few guys beating the fuck out of each other in the pit, one of them fall, everybody stop and help him clean up and make sure he's okay before giving him a beer. That's metal. Mosh pits definitely have unspoken rules. If you are at the edge of the pit, you're in the pit. If you don't want to be in the pit, move away from the pit. If someone falls, you always help them up. Yeah, moshes have always been super chill wherever I go. I've seen people lose clothing or phones every now and then, and within a couple seconds someone's holding it up over their head looking for the person it belongs to. Everyone picks each other back up. It's super cool. Someone had a like 7-year-old kid at a venue I was at last year, and some of the people around the mom got really low and had a little mosh pit with him. They'd push him around in a circle and would let him bump into him and stuff. I think by the end of the night, he crowd surfed. Metal people are super nice most of the time. That's so cool. I love that mini mosh story. I remember my little brother went to his first concert, MCR, when he was pretty young, and when it started to get wild, some much bigger dudes stood around him to keep him safe. It was easily the most wholesome thing I've ever seen at a concert.
Old lady I used to take care of, she was an aircraft mechanic in her youth during WW2. She fought me tooth and nail every time I went in to help her. One day in the dining room she fell out of her wheelchair and busted her head wide open. She was 95. Blood everywhere. This lady stands up, blood running down her face. We rushed to help her. She looked me dead in the face and said, "Fuck off, I don't need any help." We called an ambulance. My grandma, 70 years old at the time, messed up her elbow one day doing something in the yard. She comes up to me, I'm like 9 at this point, and she casually says, "Call your mom," with her arm dangling awkwardly at the elbow. I freaked the hell out. She fixed herself a tea while we waited for my mom, reassuring me the whole time. She passed in January, just 1 day shy of her 90th. Badass. She fixed herself a tea. Your grandma is a legend.
I saw a falcon attack a squirrel's nest and it kept going back for the babies, tearing them apart, then throwing them to the ground. Then the parent squirrel jumped at the falcon and it literally tore the poor thing's head clean off and its headless body fell to its mangled children. I watched an epic fight between a spider wasp and a huntsman spider. It went on for about 10 minutes and was like a kind of mini Godzilla King of the Monsters vibe. It ended with the spider wasp winning and dragging the spider back into a big hole in my garden wall. It was fucking intense. Australian wildlife is metal AF.